New OGs. New OGs is a State Madison Entertainment production and is brought to you by Solar Masters. Look, Illinois is changing how people get their electricity, and Solar Masters is helping homeowners in Illinois take advantage of a program that lets them get solar power at no cost out of pocket. If you're a single-family homeowner in the state of Illinois, you can lower your electric bill, you can raise the value of your home, and you can do something good for the environment without paying a single dollar out of your pocket to do so. In fact, Solar Masters can only work with you if they can save you money. Solar Masters is a minority-owned business, a SunPower dealer, and an American panel maker with over 30 years of solar experience. And for the end of 2020, they're also giving a $1,000 cash rebate to anyone who goes solar. Yes, sir.
Buddy!
Yes, sir.
You mean to tell me?
I do mean to tell you.
Somebody can save money on electricity.
They can cut their bill on their electricicity bill. They can save money
help
on the
the
bill.
environment.
They'll help the environment. They'll stop they will aid in the stopping of global warming.
And you gonna give them $1,000?
We're gonna give them $1,000 on top of that, and it's nothing out of pocket.
Dude, that is better than watching a black woman destroy a pasty-faced fascist on national TV while a fly thought he was an actual piece of shit.
That is true. That is true. Listen to this. They even have a referral program. You can refer somebody you know, and if they go solar, they'll send you $500, which is pretty crazy. So do this. Head over to www.gosolarmasters.com and get in contact for a free consultation or to refer someone that you know. We are also brought to you by People of Comedy. That is the network we're on right now. Get over to People of Comedy's Facebook pages. Go to their Instagram or Twitter pages at People of Comedy Network and People of Comedy. They have tons of great podcasts from people all over the Chicago comedy scene. It's the #1 podcast studio in the city for sure. They have a ton of great shows that they put out as well as far as stand-up specials. There's a bunch coming out from them as well. Follow them and everything they've got going on there for all your comedy and fun time needs. What's going on, everybody? How we doing?
What's groovy, man?
What's up, man? You look like you're jamming already. You look like you are about to lead a 1970s revolution of a small African nation.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited because I told everybody that Marilee was coming on the show. That's what I've been advertising. I've been advertising Marilee was coming on the show. I didn't know Marilee was bringing her backup singers, the titties. It's Marilee and the titties.
The pips.
R&B.
She's got the pips.
It's R&B. This is hip hop and this is R&B.
Hey, people, OnlyFans, People of Comedy coming for you. What?
Comedians are killing the OnlyFans game. This is content right here. Hey,
free
Marilee.
too.
Hip hop, R&B. Hip hop. Okay.
Man,
Marilee, thank you so much for joining us today.
Best times in my
y'all
life
for
was
having
between
me.
some hip hop and R&B.
I hope you
Hard to
paid that
choose.
woman well.
It's hard to choose, you know. How can you possibly choose between the two?
Which genre?
That's why you got to be able to support multiple genres. That's my personal feelings. That's where I stand on it. You got to be able to support multiple genres. How you doing, Marilee? What's going on, lady?
I'm doing good. Nothing much.
I love your studio setup.
Thank you so much. I created myself. I am now a set designer.
You as well. One of your many talents.
The pandemic is bringing out the best in me.
That's what's up. You just add more and more to the resume. That's what's up.
You know, if God wanted me to be every woman, he should have just made me Shaka Khan.
I like it. What do you got? What do you got in the background there?
Me?
Yeah. What do you got in the background?
Oh, okay. I thought you never asked.
Talk to me about what you got going on.
Well, first of all, I just want everyone to know I have actual studio lights.
Look at you.
Oh, wow.
You got the full thing. I love
it. With a face like this, why cheated? Okay.
Gotta
right
show
here,
it off. No?
I have some type of fake plant. My mother brought it in the 90s.
Do you still water it sometimes?
Yeah, I do. And I put extra moss in the bottom of it for that feel. Then I have an entire giraffe.
Yeah, a whole ass.
You got a whole ass giraffe.
Because what the fuck is a black household without an entire giraffe? Go Africa.
Jeffrey? Is that like a knockoff Jeffrey?
Look at his face though. Lipstick, Ruby Woo.
Have you been? Did you apply that or did it come that way?
No, she was already a MAC professional.
Okay.
It's a girl.
It's not Sephora. It's not.
No, you didn't see her buns. It's a girl.
Okay, I did not.
There's more.
I didn't mean to misgender your giraffe.
It's okay. She's androgynous. And then I have this little backdrop. There's elephants, tiger, giraffe. You know,
I love it.
the
Can I talk to you about your? Can I talk to you about your charcoal colored elephant?
Of course.
Is there some symbolism in that?
It came like that from the thrift store, and
cool. Okay.
And then
and you
I thought it was roll with it. Like, you know, we got Black Panther.
No, I just was like, this isn't.
But
I was like, this is nice, and it's $4. I want
right.
Cool.
That's a good combination.
But look at this though. I saved the best for last.
Like
if you were born in the 80s, you know. I mean.
Yeah, we had one of them.
Oh yeah.
We all had one of them.
Hey man, everybody got a Polaroid of their parents sitting in some of them.
Okay, or in a champagne glass. Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
The
champagne glass and
looking like
we are so blessed.
Movie.
We are so blessed. Wow. Oh, in my basement, we had the glow in the dark psychedelic posters with the black light.
Oh yeah.
So clearly in the 70s, my mama was into shrooms or acid.
Either one. The Afrofuturism of the 70s was big time because it would be like super, like just, you know, a full giraffe in the house and panther statues, but also like black lights and mushrooms.
I did not know it at the time, but later on in life, I attached to all the houses that my father would take me to after playing basketball with his friends. If they had those velvet paintings that glowed in the dark with the neon lights, they also smoked weed.
Oh yeah.
I had those in my basement. And like for a while.
We know what was up with your family then.
You know, and they tried to make it seem like, oh, are you smoking weed? Like, clearly this is in my blood.
Like literally in my blood.
Y'all tried to keep this shit from me. No, I'm not gonna be the only one that's clean. No.
Hey, I feel like we have some listeners that are all over the place, viewers that are all over the place. We should do like a rundown of your credits, man. You've done a lot of cool shit.
Yeah, talk to us. You're from Chicago originally?
I am born and raised in Chicago on the West Side.
West Side.
I have been performing in the arts since I was probably 3. I have my first headshot at 3. My mother was an actual singer.
Okay.
So I've been performing since I was 3. Started out doing theater and music. Then
you sing in church?
Not anymore because I can't wake up real early on Sunday.
But you did. You sang in church in the past.
Yeah, I sang in choirs when I'm temperamental, so when I felt like it.
Because you have a big voice. You're an amazing singer. Sorry.
You sound like Trump, homie. You all right?
You got a big voice.
You got that COVID cough. What's going on over there?
That reefer? Is that reefer?
That is reefer. That's some good sativa.
Sativa, not COVID.
So you perform in the church until you couldn't wake up anymore on Sundays.
Well, yeah, I perform all the time because I had multiple talents. So then I started dancing. I'm trained in ballet, tap, modern African, lots of stuff. I used to actually dance with a company. I was a principal dancer called West Indian Folk Dance Company.
Okay.
So then I went to that, and then it was just a mix of probably acting, music, dancing. And then when I was 22, I found comedy. So
you only been doing comedy for a year?
Man.
Wink,
for a year in, you crushing it.
Thank you.
But I started doing comedy when you were 22. What made you start? What was the thing that took you to the stage? Because being in theater and music and church and all those other things and ballet and dance, none of those things necessarily have comedy written in the stars for them. So how did you get to that?
Well, I've always, in my 8th grade yearbook, everybody said, I'll see you in 10 years on Comic View. So apparently I was a hoot back then.
I was going to ask that if you were like the cut up in all the different things you were doing, like were you the one who was killing it?
Yeah, like I was always I always just was funny.
Were you derailing rehearsals and shit? Were you the type of person who would derail a rehearsal or whoever was
I can fuck the energy of a room up very quickly.
So did your teachers hate you, or were you?
They loved me. I was more of that kid where they were like, because I was smart too. They were like, "What?" Okay. I was that. I wasn't annoying. I wasn't the annoying. Like, get out of my room. They were like, "Stop."
Right, right.
Fair enough. Cool.
Were you good at drawing the line back then? Did you get into much shit?
I was a habitual line stepper then too. Very much so. Mm-hmm.
You pulled it right up to it, huh?
I find this a very common thread when somebody's insanely talented and your stand-up is remarkable. They usually have other skills. There's other stuff there that they brought to the table. And you are I feel like I'm doing a regular ass interview. I'm sorry, it's the weed. But you're physical on stage. You move around. You whatever space there is, you take it. You use it. Is that dance training? That's just you just.
Yeah, that's probably theater and dance, because I hate to get swallowed up by a big old stage. Like, I feel like this is my space. This is what you paid to see. I'm gonna touch every piece of this while I'm up here.
That's a very Marilee kind of a thing, though, right? Like, you are one of the things you bring to the table, I think, as a comic, and I think, from being friends with you on Facebook and seeing you put yourself out there that way, is you do seem to kind of push for this idea of like you're deserving of the space you want to take up. You know what I mean?
I absolutely am. I really do believe that, and I really just want to encourage like other people, other women specifically, to just be like, fuck it, be yourself. It's only one you, no matter. I feel like comparison is the fucking devil.
It's so crazy that you just said that, because I literally was trying to figure out a way to segue to this story. Her and I, after a show, were hanging out. We went to a second bar, and it was pretty late. We were, having fun or whatever with a bunch of other comics. And a celebrity's son, I'm not going to say it. If she want to say it, it's her story, but a celebrity's son was in the bar, and it was obvious he was the celebrity's son. He looked just like the celebrity. And I saw the dude, and I didn't think Marilee had seen him, because, all the women were kind of jocking him or whatever. And I was like, hey, you people boy over there. She's, do you remember this, Marilee?
No, not yet. Not yet. Keep going.
You said, that's what I was hoping you remember the story. You said something about fuck his punk. He introduced himself as I'm such and such son.
Oh, I remember that. I had wings on my back. Yes. I remember exactly where we were at a bar. This was our last bar of the night. It was one of those nights.
Yeah.
I had fairy wings on my back. And I had my hair just up in a bun, curly, like a curly puff. And so he was like, first it was like, oh, okay, I like your hair. I was like, okay. And then he just came back. He was like, oh, yeah, I love your wings. I was like, just like,
he had no follow-ups. He was just
have a regular conversation. Hey, what's up? My name is, and so it was just like weird. And then he left, and y'all, it's the richest nigga son ever.
It really is.
No, like really, it's the richest nigga ever son. And I'm like, I'm always doing shit.
Have you just missed before like that? Have you had some near misses?
No, I didn't catch it.
All you had to do was put up with some boring.
It wasn't even that he was bored. I have a joke about this person too, so it was super funny because it was like, damn, I was this close to like he was so close to me. I was like, are you okay? Are you drunk? And then he could have been my rich husband. I wouldn't even have had to be able to sit by myself.
Could have given up this comedy show a long time ago. Yeah,
you had a real life black elephant.
Okay, a real black elephant. Oh, and his dad is the same sign as me. I fumbled the bag, but I be doing that. Usually men come back and be like, hey, you feisty. He was like, bitch, I don't have to take that.
That's enough.
He was
rich. Like, that's enough out of you.
I'm rich. I am rich, honey.
Yeah, banter was not what I was seeking.
I was like, oh.
Well, you may have dodged a bullet, though.
Here's the thing. Even though I think that is an incredibly corny game, that he had that basically I'm saying, I gotta do that. I think that's corny. I respect the honesty, man. Like,
but why didn't he lead with that to me? He didn't lead with that to me.
He didn't open with that with you. He told you that.
No, he opened with that with everybody else except me. You ain't think I was a gold digger? Because I am.
Yeah, I don't know. He missed. I think maybe he missed. You know what I mean? Maybe he missed.
I think so too. You know.
It's it's a weird thing. Relationships get caught up in the idea that, you know, don't get me wrong. Like, you need money somewhere in relationships because we're in a world where money exists. But the credence put on one person having so much more, so much less than somebody else, and more than creates weird situations for people all the time. And as someone who makes less than the person I live with, that has to be my opinion.
And you aren't wrong for that. You keep your house. You keep your
I do.
things.
I keep, like I told you,
I'm
earning my keep. I earn my keep in other ways.
I feel like most men, a lot, no, I'm not going to say most. I feel like a lot of men are very exhausting. So if I have to be exhausted, please let's not be poor.
Right. Yeah, it's trade-offs. Well, here's the deal also.
We don't have to be rich, but let's just not be poor.
Yeah, I'm also not broke. It's just I'm not like she's a doctor and I'm not.
See,
that's an easy differentiation.
That works. Shit, I like her now, as a matter of fact.
She's a doctor and I'm not, so I will clean the bathrooms. You know what I mean? Like well,
I'll clean the kitchen.
You know,
because I think I like her too. She a doctor.
It's a pretty simple inconvenience. Like, yeah, I'll take it.
Has she ever dated girls? Is she paying?
Hey, man.
Yeah.
Hey, man, y'all nuptials, have you ever thought about taking her last name?
You know what?
But no, I'm not even being funny. I'm saying it because of the Bobby Hill situation would end.
Yeah, I'm opposed to the idea of having to change my name to get out of that situation.
Oh, you just gonna be stubborn, nigga. What you think, the cartoon gonna die? They in their 15,000th season.
You know, there's something to be said for at least trying to hope that you get well known enough that, like, it's a question. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Which, like, it'd be nice if at some point somebody was like, "Which one are you talking about?" That'd be
sort
cool.
Of like Vanessa Williams.
You know what I mean?
Vanessa Williams.
Yeah. Like, you know, that's I'd prefer to at least have it be maybe a question at some point. You know what I mean?
Well, here's the thing, man. Why don't you don't want to Michael B. Jordan it, you know?
See, to me, that's so sus, man. That's so.
Oh, man.
That's so. I'm like, oh, come on, dog.
I think he technically had to do it. I think for certain reasons he may have.
Michael Jordan is an Aquarius. I could just imagine. He was like, another motherfucker name. What? Another motherfucker name. What?
No. It's the Actors Guild. It's Screen Actors Guild. You can only have one Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why Vanessa Williams, the other Vanessa Williams, I think started being Vanessa K.
Yep.
Point.
Yeah. I think that's why Tom Brady became Tom Thakkar again, because
wait, what?
Because you know Tom Thakkar, he was Tom Brady before the comic.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's why, because when he started doing some more stuff out in New York, all of a sudden he had changed his name. And Tom Brady's in that. Tom Brady's in the guild too. Tom Brady's not enough commercials and shit that he's in there no matter what. He's been on shows and shit. So, you know, that should be going down.
I feel so bad.
Why is that?
Because I never know who white comics are. I know like 3 famous white comics and Chicago white comics, and that's it. Like, I be on shows with some of the biggest people. They be like, "You on a show with who?" I be like, "Yeah, some nigga from LA."
It's hard to remember, man. There's
they
a lot
be like, "Bitch, that's Dane Cook." I be like, "Who is it?" I be like, "Who's that?"
Well, so for me, it's like you may say a name and I may recognize the name, but that doesn't mean I've watched more than 5 minutes of somebody necessarily.
I have watched none of it. Just like I was on the show with Cal Kinane, and they were like, "Cal Kinane's coming through," and I was like, "Yeah." In my mind, I was like, what part of the North Side are you from?
You didn't think Cal Kinane was from Inglewood?
I was like, I never heard of him up north. Anyway, I'll go. And then I got on stage.
Think? So what'd you think?
I got on stage. He was like, "You funny." I was like, "Okay, thank you." Then he got down, and I was like, "You kind of funny too." And then he was like, "Come on, let me buy you a drink." So then he came and bought me a drink, my mom a drink, and my aunt a drink. And so then we're just having a regular conversation. Then some people come up to him like, "Hey, it's Cal Kinane." And I'm like, "Why the fuck everybody know you, bro?"
He was a voice of Comedy Central for years.
I'm like, you must be kind of good at comedy. So tell me more.
Does it? I mean, so you know you're good. Does it feel silly when someone that you haven't really heard of, like in that situation when he's telling you you're pretty funny and you're like, I don't even know you, so like I mean, other than it being like, hey, thanks, you know what I mean, like, does it move you at all? I mean, because you were told like, oh, Canadian, you're like, all right, I guess this is some dude, and then he says you're funny, like, does that move your needle at all, or you're just like,
I didn't know.
We'll see if you're funny, Mo.
I never had any feeling about it until right now. I'm like, maybe I should feel like something. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I need an emotion coach.
Well, what is it that moves you? Because people get driven by different things, right? The reason why people, because this is a horrible business, right? So like people, the reason to get, and I mean to get through it. You know what I mean? Like unless you have a shit ton of money and you can just keep getting shots, this is a hard business to like work a job and get through. So like, what is it that makes you want to keep going to the stage?
When people they can't breathe. And they're like, like you can't hear them laughing because everybody's just like, I love to almost make people die. It's my kink.
That's your thing.
That's your kink.
That's what gets you out every night. I love it. I love it. So people are like, I'd like to make my father proud. You're like, I like to almost flatline motherfuckers.
Yeah, that's so much fun. Like, ooh, look at you, almost died. And then
my mother, who later in her years, for whatever reason, became insanely prudish. She hates swears. She doesn't like watching movies with too much swears. She won't watch any violence. And she saw Marilee, and Marilee was you were doing your masturbation. You opened with like a masturbation bit, and her sisters and my sisters were dying. And I'm standing on the side of the stage. I'm glad that they're laughing, but I'm also mad as fuck because I'm like, you wouldn't let me say none of that shit, and they was dying at you. But I mean, that's the magic that you had. You had a bunch of church ladies rolling.
You know, people always ask me. People always ask me, like, because my mom supports me. My mom, she's on a rolling walker, and she will invite all the old ladies to my show. It'll be like 10 bitches there over 60, and my mom comes. And I say whatever. And people like, oh, you ever feel a way about saying that in front of your mom? I was like, the first time I did, and then I told my mom not to come to a show because I wanted to curse. She was like, girl, make your money. And I took that to heart. And I was like, girl, all right, so now suck his dick. And she was like,
she's like, baby, that's a little too much cursing, baby. That's a little too
I think that's Chicago West Side versus South Side shit. Well, my mom is South Side. South Side always trying to be proper. South Side always trying to do it the right way.
With a dead body
like,
on
do
your
it however
lawn.
You gotta fucking do it.
Trying to be bougie with a dead body on your lawn. Go to hell. Go to fucking hell.
Look, man, we can be trash too. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. That's exactly.
We got some trash folks too. Let's not lie. We got some garbage.
Like three.
Yeah, 3. R. Kelly in jail. We already got one of them.
Period. And he from the South Side. Nasty.
I like the goal to try and divide the city even further more. You know what I mean? Like, we got to be in constant.
And this division has always existed.
I know. I'm not saying it's new. I'm just saying at some point we should be like,
South Side is deeper than Cubs versus Sox.
Oh yeah. Well, white people don't know that, but we like to.
Yeah.
I shall perpetuate this. The perpetuation, baby, come on.
Yeah, man, you gotta keep it up. You've been getting a lot more pub lately. I mean, you've started to really. I mean, it seems like you've gotten more shit going on in the North Side over the last couple of years than in the first few. Has that been because you've wanted to come up more, or over more, because you've had more people hunting you down?
No, because Chicago comedy is segregated. So here's the thing. White people don't come to the South Side at all. So
I put this out here for you to do this, by the way.
Oh, you already know that's all I needed. Thank you so much. I'll take this now. I'm glad you asked, Bobby. The whites don't come out to the South Side under any circumstances. And usually if they do, it's on a whim, on a dare, or because they happen to know and like or want to book the comedian who's hosting the room. So they go and then they go and back to the North Side and they say, we didn't die on the South Side and it was okay. So then they miss a lot of cool, talented, diverse Black people because we're not monolithic at all. And so they miss it. I've been doing comedy 10 years. And then 4 years ago, white people thought they discovered me. No, honey. Not at all. Yeah. So that's the reason why I used to come to the North Side, but it was the energy used to be so fucking crazy that I just stopped going. And then I want to say his name so bad, but I don't know. Let me not be ignorant on y'all's platform.
No. That's 100% what I brought.
This is where we want this is the platform right here. You can.
Oh my God! Wait, please tell me
exclusive.
Is this about to be one of your teardowns? Because I'm about to tweet this shit.
Well,
I mean, they should have replayed. We'll replay the shit for sure.
He apologized actually this year at the beginning of the year, but I remember I was at a room on the North Side because I was one of those Black comics that did not mind coming to the North Side. I actually started on the North Side. So we were at the room hosted by two Black men. It was pretty much white based and comic, hilarious. This was my third time seeing him. Every time I saw him, he was hilarious. His name is Drew Michael. It's funny as fuck. So this day in particular, he decided to get on stage and say, I don't date Black girls. And then he was like, no, not for the reason you think. I'm not racist. It's just that I don't like their skin. And no one in the room said nothing. Even the ones that say Black Lives Matter today, they said nothing. And then I had to actually say from the audience because I was so offended. And because he had like a Drew fro. And it's like, how you going to be racist towards Black people when clearly somebody was fucking somebody Black in your family because your hair is nappy? So that got a big laugh. And he kind of went down and, left. And then I remember being like, I'm not coming to the North Side because I'm going to beat their ass.
Right.
So
I think that's the main reason why Black comics don't come to the North Side, by the way, is we're just like, we can't catch a case coming up here. Listen to y'all say this shit.
And I don't have no type of, once I get started, I need the cops to come because that's the only way I'm going to stop. Now the cops are necessary because I don't see me stopping without force.
Don't abolish the police yet, goddammit.
Okay, please. We need at least 6 left for me.
We not gonna mix it up because I ain't trying to start too much drama, but if you don't follow her on social media, I know we can do this shit at the end of the show, but
for sure,
she has had some historic teardowns of motherfuckers who overstepped. They crossed the line and did something to a point where Marilee was to say, oh, well, we don't make this shit public then.
Yeah. But I had to bring it just bothered me. It came back up this year because I saw him say something about Black Lives Matter. And it just pisses me off to see those same people now. And I know growth is possible. I've said some crazy, wild shit, but nothing has been racist. I'm not homophobic. I'm nothing. Like I said some pretty ignorant shit, but I don't have to repent for being a racist. Okay.
Right.
So when I see it now, it's kind of like, before you take this stance, I need you to address everything, every way that you've knowingly oppressed people in your circle. So when I brought it back up, he sent me a really long message apologizing, and I let him know that I'll think about it.
Right.
Because I question the sincerity because of the climate, and number 2, because a Black man helped you get your HBO special.
Yeah.
So now I'm wondering, did you want to die down or did you? But he kept going and, went further and further. And I think that he actually might be growing. So kudos to him. Kudos to him for recognizing and then actually addressing it. So I will say that I don't hate you.
I won't tell.
I'm glad we got to see some growth here.
I won't say the whole thing to follow, but just to follow up, I had an issue with the same cat many moons ago, and had the exact same experience with him. He grew through it, and me and him actually ended up becoming okay. And,
that's cool.
It's a tough thing too.
He has done that before, so
there's a level of.
I'm thinking so too.
There's a level of toughness, I think, especially when you're trying to do comedy, where you're trying to figure out where is the part that you're like, where are you allowed to go? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think some of it is just like some people just aren't really qualified to try and make a joke about certain topics. They're just not, they just don't have the experience, or they haven't like spent enough time learning about something, or it's just not their lane, right? Like,
or they just have too much internalized anti-Blackness. And sometimes you don't even recognize it as that. It's just a joke to you because it's been a joke in your circle and people that you're around, because you don't realize that you're surrounded by racism, because you kind of think it is funny because it doesn't affect you. Yeah. So now that I feel like the internet has exposed so many people to different cultures that people are really learning. Like, it's things that I have said that are ignorant, like the whole spirit animal, things that I don't say anymore. Just using the F word in regards to homosexual people, things that I have done that I've grown past and I learned. So that's why I did give them a chance, because people do learn, but at the same time though, tread lightly.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Because I'm sure Marilee's got people, okay?
I really do. And they just, they just waiting to prove themselves to me.
I was going to say, they probably just dying to go to work. I know.
Right, like, she need me. I'm about to come through for boo. And it's like, now your whole establishment fucked up.
It's kind of like, there's not enough comics to protect another comic who does some fucked up shit.
Okay, and comics are fucked up. So if we're recognizing it's fucked up, you're super wrong. Because we be doing fucked up shit and we don't even be knowing. We be encouraging each other. We be like,
You brought up a good point about how, like, there's a lot of people who are doing performative shit and how, missing the ball actually on what's really going on. And it's like, it's weird in a wider world. Did you see the shit about, I don't know, do you follow politics at all, Marilee? Are you?
You know what? I do, because it affects me, but it's so heavy that sometimes I just, and this is another reason why I try not to do too much political comedy and too much politics in my comedy. And white people always ask me, do more politics. I'm like, this is my real life that's affected.
Right.
Why you trying to, motherfucker, you want to laugh at, you want to see me do a funny impression of Trump and shit. And it's like, no, this really affect my real fucking life. Like,
yeah. That's not the part I'm trying to be funny about.
This shit. Like, I don't even want to talk about the shit.
Yeah.
I am watching it and everybody is dumb. Yeah. And that's crazy to me. Because
did you see where they tried to kidnap this governor of Michigan, Governor Whitmer? They have 13 dudes they charged in this.
They look the exact same. I was up for 4 minutes. For 4 minutes. It's like they have 3 different sets of white male faces, and it's like spread across. I was like, oh my God, are they brothers?
It looked like a video game, and you got options to like how big,
Street Fighter, select your fighter.
Facial hair, no facial hair.
There was no hockey game on Nintendo, the original NHL hockey game on Nintendo, where you had to pick, you had 3 different body types, and depending on what their body, like the average size guy was like good and average. There was one guy who was super fast, and then there was like a husky guy, and that was like your enforcer cat. And you could pick, like, I think you picked your team of 4 or 5, but it was only those 3 body types. And that's what that shit was for them dudes that got charged in that shit in Michigan.
I was fucked up. I was like, I was like, damn, I should have smoked this early. Because
those guys were. I'm going to shoot this one more time. I'm calling them Mumford and Guns. There it is. Y'all didn't hear
it. That's it, everyone. Thank you. Good night.
I shot that shit earlier, but everybody was laughing and talking. And I was like, did that shit miss or did they not hear it?
Oh,
we just didn't hear it.
The whole time. Wait, he was sitting there this whole time.
He had that in the pre. Bring it up. Bring it up.
Reload it.
Waiting on it. Just.
He was like, a motherfucker didn't hit me. I'm going to say it again.
Let me just rewind this back a little bit. We're going to throw it out. We're going to throw it out there.
Come on, man. That was a hit. I know that was a hit.
I mean, to me, as it so she's not just the governor. This is like a 49-year-old white lady in the suburbs, right? Like this,
yeah.
Like if they're gonna train and make bombs to come and get this lady, who the fuck is safe in America right now?
Yeah, man.
Well,
you know
what I mean? On that note,
this shit. Me and Bobby were talking. I realized I'm right next to the sticks. Like I live in a metropolitan area, but literally just beyond my house is fucking farms and country roads, right? And when you start getting on those farm and country roads, every so often, like every maybe 6 or 7 miles, I see these little things. They're called gun clubs. There's like these little gun clubs all up and down, and these gun like I always thought, why the fuck are there so many gun clubs out here? That's where those motherfuckers are training.
Oh
That's
yeah,
militia dudes are hanging out and meeting up and developing whatever they're doing.
Call the police on them.
They are the police.
Yeah, they are the police. That's the problem. Because here's the crazy
Call the police.
those dudes was gonna kidnap her and take her to Wisconsin. So they plugged up with a gang of motherfuckers in Wisconsin. Why the Wisconsin cats getting in on the Michigan governor?
Bruce Wayne is doing some shit. Call Batman. Wait a minute.
We live in Gotham.
It's the same picture, dog. It's the same picture. They're the same people.
Dude.
You know what's crazy though is like, so that shit happened. She said that part of it was Trump like saying like stand back and stand by, and then Trump shit on her, and now all these people are like, yeah, fuck this bitch. Like the people in the comment sections on page never read comment sections on celebrity posts. On celebrity or news posts
on Comedy Central. I had to get up out of there because I was about to search some people. Like, bitch,
Are you within a 300-mile radius? Because I'm coming
I don't
to throw
give a
hands.
fuck. I got some flight credits. I'm about to where you at, bitch. Tell me to my face.
There are people right now who are like, yeah, fuck her. She deserves. Like they're gonna kidnap this lady. They're gonna blow up the capital of Michigan, man. They're gonna do all this shit, and people are just like, they're chill with it, which is I think that's an issue, right?
That's
like,
a huge issue.
Yes.
So here's the thing:
if they're gonna snatch up a 49-year-old white lady, and people are like, yeah, man, fuck it.
The
do your shit.
For I believe more than a year at least. I believe like 2 years. Has been saying to anybody that will listen, hey, the number one problem we have in America is white supremacist groups. The number one problem, they've been telling, like, this story, you can go back to, like, I'm pretty sure to 2018 at least, if not further, of the FBI saying that the biggest concern, next to Russia, that was the international concern, but the biggest domestic concern has been white supremacy groups.
Russia is also a white supremacy group.
Huh? Oh
Russia,
yeah, exactly.
Russia is also
they actually very true. There's also coincidentally all this shit is happening to give you an idea how big it is. I think it's on NPR, and I apologize for bringing it up without knowing specifically, but there's a documentary coming up talking about how white supremacists, if you remember in the 90s, they were on daytime TV all the time. Here's a white supremacist, neo-Nazis, skinheads.
On the Phil Hart show and shit like that, like on the talk shows.
Yes, they were doing those things.
Remember Jenny Jones? They'd bring the motherfuckers on there.
Yes. That was their agenda. They did that shit as advertisement and recruiting, and it worked. Like they knew that they were going to show and get made fun of and blah blah blah, but they also knew that they were like basically letting people know, hey, I know you agree with some of the shit I'm saying, and if you do, this is who we are, and this is how you find us. And that shit worked.
And now we're into this shit. QAnon.
Okay.
There's literally the documentary that you have to look it up. Like there's literally a quote from Oprah saying, I thought I couldn't even believe they would come on the show because I thought I'm exposing you. And like, no, they were using me.
I think that's important because there's all this talk about Rogan right now because Joe Rogan made this move to Spotify, and
huge move, $250 million move.
Yeah,
what?
Yeah. Joe Rogan moved to Spotify, and all these employees. I don't want to say all these, but there is a group of employees at Spotify that are trying to get certain episodes of his show like taken off of Spotify because they believe they're like anti-trans or anti-gay or whatever the case is. And, people are very confused about Rogan, and we've talked about this on the show before. And my stance with Rogan is he's just not intelligent enough to push back on some of the people that he brings on the show. But what you were talking about, that documentary, like fits that idea perfectly, right? Like, you bring white supremacists on Jenny Jones or Oprah in the 80s or early 90s, and obviously a bunch of people are like, you're full of shit. You bring him on Rogan, and Rogan's like, I think Gavin McInnes is a fun guy, right? Like that's the
complicit. That's the complicity that we be talking about, y'all.
Exactly. That's the blind complicity. And then and so on the low end, it hurts us in things as simple as traffic stops, right? Like we got to be worried about being in the crib asleep at night.
Real talk.
But like now we're at a point where like even if you like a 50-year-old white lady, you might get taken out your crib in the middle of the night. You know what I mean? By the same people. It's the same. It's not different people. That's not Black Lives Matter coming to get that lady. That's not Antifa. Antifa is not coming to get that lady. That's not. You know what I mean? That's straight up.
Like,
you're right.
This shit happened a week from when the president following the president refusing to fucking deny or condemn white supremacy groups. Like,
this dude tweeted "Liberate Michigan" back when they were having all the mass shit go off.
And actually, the FBI said this is how delusional and stupid this motherfucker is. The FBI said that was a thing that that group took as an indication that they should go through with this plan. Liberate Michigan, they felt was like their call from Trump to do the shit. And then this
right.
Go say, well, it was my FBI that arrested him. I was like, yeah, man. And this is the same motherfuckers that's going to arrest you in like 4 months.
I'm so sick of his ugly ass. Oh my God.
Let's talk about a little black girl magic. Kamala Harris went up against Mike Pence and The Fly went up against Mike Pence and The Fly.
A 2-on-1.
The Fly had more to say in that debate than the moderator did, to be honest with you. Did
some good shit.
Hey, that is actual Mark of the Beast type shit, honestly, if you religious at all. Like a bird is like life and hope, and that's what showed up on Bernie when he was talking. A fly showed up on this motherfucker, which, of course there are like 5 billion tweets about it being like landing on a piece of shit, but like, I mean, that tells me more than the idea that there were even that many tweets about it was
I mean, a lot of people, I flipped in and out of the debate because I'll be honest, being completely honest, even though I think she obliterated him, I also think she did a lot of dancing when she didn't have to. Like there was a couple times where I wish she would have just said, yeah, next question. Are you guys gonna do this thing? Blah blah blah.
The court packing.
No, she can't do that.
The court packing was the main.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Next.
The court packing was the main issue that people were struggling with. That was
here's the court packing thing. Look. I
got the answer too. I'm with you.
Yeah.
But I want to hear it.
Oh, here's something. I'm not going to answer that question. We're going to leave everything open. The reason why I'm not going to answer that question because I can't believe that this person has the audacity to even ask that question when just 4 years ago, his party made a huge stance about not allowing President Obama to fill the Supreme Court justice because it was in the year of an election, 10 months before the election, and now we're within less than a month of election, and you're willing to do that. So to have the audacity to bring that up and ask what we're going to do in retaliation
2 audacities
to your bad behavior is just evidence that your behavior is bad and needs to have retribution.
Ooh, and a retribution. I think 2 audacities and a retribution would shut a motherfucker down in a heartbeat.
And she could have been black girl magic with it.
I think, I think the answer is really simple, which is how could we even answer that question until we see what we're doing here? Like, I don't know. Fuck around and find out is the best answer,
At this point, really, it should just be like, shit. You already seen what he got. What you want?
I thought she did a really good job of pointing out Trump's problems. You know what I mean? When she turned to the American people and she was like, this man owes $420 million. Now, when you owe something, that means you owe it to somebody. She broke down some real like Sesame Street basic political civics lesson shit for people that I thought probably made some stuff clear. But, I think overall so the big issue here was that he spent a lot of the debate like interrupting her and like going over his time. And I probably already know the answer.
Way over.
I already know the answer to this, but I feel like Marilee would. You can understand that situation. Men trying to talk over you when you're getting points out. Is that a thing you've dealt with, or is that just something that she randomly?
No, that's exactly what we deal with, and that's why people think I'm a bitch. Because you're not gonna talk over me.
I was gonna let you talk about that, Marilee, but no.
I'm talking. So you have to. Unfortunately, she's not in a position to choose be a bitch. Because as soon as she lets it go, they're gonna be like, "See, this is why women can't be in control." She's emotional. She's when it's no, you're gonna respect me. If a man tells you like, "Oh no, I was talking," you gonna be like, "Oh my bad. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go proceed." But when a woman is
proceed,
yeah, it's like
that was Fox News's whole thing. They were talking about she shouldn't have been. She was too smug. She smirked. She was, she shouldn't smirk so much. Yeah, was she even listening? She was.
If she frowned, she would be an angry black woman.
It's like she was using that smirk to hold back the explosion she wanted to drop on this fool.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Mike Pence is interrupting the moderator going over his time, interrupting her and making all kinds of stuff. They don't say shit about that. They talking about her. I mean, I understand that they're supposedly the opposition party or whatever, but I mean, damn.
I can only imagine how, like, for someone who has had as much power as Kamala Harris, because if you remember, she was like the Attorney General of California, which is like the 5th largest GDP in the world, not just like in the country, in the world. California produces the GDP is huge there, and she was the top prosecutor in the state. So like, for her to be interrupted by some white dude over and over again, or have some dude like, and for her to even just sit there through that and leave it at just "I'm speaking" shows the type of control that woman had. Like, for her to just be like, "I'm speaking," that woman wanted to like get up and like coronavirus be damned, and just
that was it. There was a motherfucker under her breath behind every one of those "I'm speaking."
I know she was like, "This motherfucker with this comic book hair, I slapped this comic book wig off of him."
He looks like every political villain in a comic book ever. His
Everyone.
Shit is just, look like he fucked Johnny Gotham up. Remember Johnny Quest? He looked like Johnny Quest's dad.
Yeah, Jonathan Quest Sr. That's what that was.
Jonathan Quest Esquire.
In the meantime, while this is going on, speaking of debates, there was supposed to be another debate coming up next week, but this dude's face is sliding off, and ain't nobody seen him in person in a week. Is Trump still alive? He's going out the
streets tomorrow, my dude.
Is Trump still alive, or is he just a robot cyborg? Please help me out. I don't know what's going on with this man.
Yes. The answer to that is yes. Trump is still alive, and he's a robot cyborg.
Do you think
those are not mutually exclusive?
Do you think it's too late for him? I mean, he's promising all this shit to seniors. I'm gonna get you this free drug. This is he's trying to call it a cure, which is bullshit.
If it's a cure, then I am going to remember how you won me over last week and said that he would never fake because that would do so much. If he says that shit's a cure, and that he was the guy that came up with the cure, that's the cure. Yeah, I'm going back to he faked the whole motherfucking thing, and that's why we can't get anything about when he tested negative and when he tested positive. They wouldn't even say if he's still testing positive right now. And he talking about having a fucking event tomorrow at the White House.
The problem is getting the negative test, right? Like they say they got the test when he tested positive, but they're not trying to give up the negative test because they know it's before the debate.
Dude, the negative test was probably 2 weeks ago. Like me and you, like here's the thing. If you are watching our show because of Marilee, or if you are a person coming back, or it's your first time, whichever, you can go back last week. We talked about this shit on the show. We said this punk motherfucker didn't take the test, and we didn't have any more evidence than anything. We just were vibing off of how this nigga roll. It was clear that he hadn't took the test. That's why we didn't know when the fucking last time he had a negative. And the evidence is more and more, like all the shit we said last week, I'm pretty sure we were we were putting some shit together. We didn't have any like journalism story and stuff. We just read a bunch of shit that was suspected.
I mean, this should have just happened the night before.
Yeah.
This was like a week ago. This dude just
that, and we put that shit together. And that motherfucker, we put together that he wasn't taking tests regularly, and he probably ain't taking tests in weeks because he thinks everybody else around him is getting tested. So why the fuck should I? Mitch McConnell burned him yesterday. Mitch McConnell said he hasn't been to the White House since August 6th or 8th or something like that because they have such I'm paraphrasing, but it's basically because they have poor coronavirus procedures, and he's a polio survivor, so he's and he's 77.
But we all know people like this, right? Like we all know people, you know, we're all people who've been out in the dating world, right? We've all run into people who tell you about the last time they took a test and then they want to give you some bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's a for real thing. People be like, I get tested regularly. And you're like, when was your last test? They'd be like, what year is it?
Right.
Oh, well, you're gonna have to put on a whole bodysuit before we go out then. That's what we're gonna have to do.
August 2020 for me, and I'm getting another one before my birthday. Hey.
What's that?
I said August 2020 for me, and I'm getting another one before my birthday. Just putting it out there in the universe.
So, and speaking of that, actually, Marilee, to go back to it, I mean, I know guys approach you. Do any of them approach you with any common sense? Are they all just... Are you only approached by fools at this point, or does anybody of any...
It's like a very slim.
What's the percentage? What's the percentage of fools to?
It's about let's see, like 12% decent.
Like people who are and everybody else is on bullshit. Like 88% on bullshit.
Hey, look! I'm gonna put something out here, and I want you to hear me out real quick. I'm gonna keep it tight.
Yeah.
To the men of the world, we got a following in Chicago and shit in countrywide,
and in Senegal,
in Senegal, Venezuela, big ups.
It's our fan base.
If you go see her perform, or you happen to see her out somewhere or whatever, and you decide you finna try to run game on her pretty ass, and you go over there with some bullshit, don't do it. I'm trying to tell you, look, I love her. I love this woman like a sister. I'm not saying this, but I say this to her all the time. Any woman that I care about deeply is never fucking meeting Marilee, because she be out there showing bitches how to do this, son. She be on Twitter out there teaching motherfuckers a game. Like, shut the fuck up, Marilee. You telling too much shit. She be revealing all her secrets.
Giving insider tips. Giving insider tips.
Oh my God. If you're a woman and you want to know how to play your man, fucking follow her on fucking Twitter, man.
You make me want to turn my fan on. Don't do that.
I be getting
fine. I'll do it.
True.
Have you thought about
putting? Why the fuck is you talking so much?
Are you putting together a series, Marilee? Or are you putting together a series of helpful relationship tips for ladies?
I hadn't considered that, but maybe now.
It might be a thing you got to do.
If the streets need me like that,
right.
Hearing that from a man just let me know the streets need me.
I think they do.
I'm trying to tell you, I be scrolling through Twitter and I see that shit and it's like, wait. The fuck Go back. The fuck did she just
The streets need me.
Oh no, you've let the cat right out of the bag again?
Man,
they all know.
Cat don't even make it to the bag. He's still in the bag, nigga.
Are you back out doing shows again, Marilee? Are you out in the world?
I am. Are you going out there? Are you eating?
Yeah. How's it been out there? 'Cause I know I've got some stuff. I got some stuff coming up, but I haven't ventured out to any spots just yet.
It's been cool. Laugh Factory. I'm digging Laugh Factory's procedures, protocols.
They got everything.
They got us separated.
Yeah.
Our own mics plus the mic covers.
Nice.
So I felt safe there, and then a few patio shows that I've done, I felt safe too.
Yeah.
The only time that I had a point when I had like not left out the house in months, and then I went out for 2 weeks like binging, and then I got COVID.
Oh really?
Oh fuck! I didn't know you had COVID, girl.
Oh
I know.
shit.
I didn't tell nobody. But yeah, I was quarantined in my room for 2 weeks, and I had to cancel shows. My only source of income was OnlyFans, so I was having photo shoots in my room with no senses. So yeah, it was interesting, but I did what I had to do. I stayed alone for that whole time. My family was pretty cool. They were putting food outside the door.
Pretty much symptom free.
No. I lost my senses.
Oh, really?
I mean, but no coughing or no lung damage or anything like that? Okay.
No.
You got a clean bill of health now? Do you have you got taste and smell
this
back?
was this was 3 months ago. I got my taste and smell back like the 5th day, but I stayed in for like 17 days. I stayed quarantined.
Wow.
Yeah, until I was able to get my test. And then when I got my test, I rejoined the world.
Came back out into it.
Man, I'm glad
you're feeling good now. You're feeling good now.
Yeah, I felt good then. I had so much energy. I had so much fun in my room.
Yeah. Sometimes, right? You'd be surprised how that shit.
I redecorated it. I got my closet together. Yeah. I did my hair 50 times. I did my makeup every day. I was having a blast. I enjoy my company. I'm a fun girl.
Yeah. Are you a movie girl? Do you go to movies a lot at all, or?
I don't go to movies a lot, but I watch movies at home.
Yeah.
I don't really. Any movie you name, probably I haven't seen it.
Yeah. No,
I
was
more
just
of
wondering.
A documentary girl.
Well, a lot of people aren't going to movies right now because they're shutting down Regal Cinemas, which was like the second largest movie outlet in the world. So they're shutting down Regal, and part of it is because all these movies are getting pushed back with all this shit that's going on, which is also on the fault of all these people that can't get their shit together. You know what I mean? Like that fucks up. I mean, part of the reason why we're having a slow time coming back as comics is because our shit's getting pushed back. But they're pushing back Batman. They're pushing back the Bond movie. The James Bond movies were really fucked it up. But they're talking about Wonder Woman going to streaming, which would be fucked up too. What are you watching when you're watching TV? What's your shit?
Let's see. I'm liking Lovecraft Country right now.
Yeah. Are you caught up?
Yeah, I'm up to date.
Whoo, are you caught up, XL?
Man, I'm not watching that shit. Scary movies scare me.
What, nigga? Are you out of your mind?
You 6'53". What?
It's a long story, but my birthday's on Halloween, and my brother used to prank me on Halloween, and I don't like scary movies.
It's not one. It's a series, so it's more than just 2 hours.
Okay, that doesn't make it better. You're not moving the needle in the right direction, Bobby.
But this is Jordan. This is like Jordan Peele with black people as the stars. So you know who's gonna be. This is not gonna be. At the end of the day, it can't be sad for black folk because this is Jordan Peele with black people. So we're gonna go through some shit, but
it's spooky with segregation. So it's like
But the spooky be working in black people's favor sometime too.
The first time I saw Get Out, I went to go see Get Out, and the first time I saw Get Out, I was with a white woman. And when that movie was over, she was like, "What do you want to do after this, baby?" And I was like, "Bitch, you going home."
Yeah, I want to break up.
He called her the next day, though. I'm sorry. That movie had me tripping, boo.
Hey, dude, I was terrified. I didn't
break up.
Drive her home. I almost made her get an Uber. I was terrified.
Yeah, man, Lovecraft Country is just actually good, though. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, there's some horror, but it's really, really good. And like I said,
all of them on my DVR. I have every episode on my DVR. I just haven't watched.
And like I said, it frames white people of the civil rights era in a way that is a metaphor for how a lot of black people probably saw white people as almost being like a source of evil magic at the time because of their ability to control things. But also there is like redemptive magic that works for black people in the series that I think is really amazing and like proper for right now, which is good. What's also good right now is The Boys. You watch The Boys at all, Marilee? Whoo, man, you want to see some cold ass shit about the full scale of society right now. The Boys, they just finished their second season. The last episode came out last night, and what
network is it?
It's on Amazon. It's on Amazon.
Oh, okay, I get that.
It's a superhero show, but it's kind of like it's a much more realistic look. Like, what if the superheroes were just assholes that worked for a company? And it goes down this path of
I feel like it's a more realistic look at what if superheroes existed, they'd be a brand.
Yeah, if superheroes existed, how would this type of world take advantage of them being out there? And it shows that type, and it's a really good take on where our world is now, including a great scene of a Nazi getting the shit beat out of her last night by a bunch of other chicks who were just done with their bullshit. It was fucking great. It was so cathartic to watch this chick who is a straight up Nazi get the shit beat out of her last night by these other women.
Get your ass whooped.
It's so and the acting on it is really good too, man. Carl Urban is amazing, and Anthony Starr, who is in a show called Banshee, which is dope. He's in there too, and there's a bunch of other good people. Aya Cash, who's on that show You're the Worst, she actually plays the Nazi chick in this one. It's dope, man. It's dope. You should, if you haven't checked it out.
You know what's crazy about her is she plays that role like she plays the bitch, like just the unbearable bitch really well.
She's really good at it. She's really good at it. You know what I mean? Like, if you had
to get my chance,
Marilee, if you had a character type you were going to be in movies or TV, what's your character type?
I would like to play like
the young ingenue.
Right. Like I would love to play like an evil, just a villain, but they probably, because I got big titties, I'm probably gonna be like the curvy auntie, voluptuous secretary, or a second wife.
we gotta write your shit where you're the villain. Then we gotta position you as.
I like dramatic acting. I don't like to do like I feel like I'm just funny. Like that's who I am. So I don't feel like it pushes me. I like to play serious roles, and like I want to have an overdose in a movie.
Do you watch a lot of drama or a lot of comedy? What do you?
A lot of drama. I don't watch comedy at all.
I'm in the same. I mean, I'll watch some comedy, but I get drawn to drama way more than
I only watch
comedy.
My Friends.
Yeah,
I'm like, you got a show coming out. All right, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, I watch Woke because T Murphy's on there. That's
okay. Like I watch everybody's special that I know. Or
right, yeah. Yeah, if I know you, I watch your special. Or
okay, other than
I'm
that,
gonna listen to it. I'm gonna promote it. I'm gonna do all that shit. Yeah.
I'm not gonna watch it.
Yeah. Speaking of friends of ours and some shit, Chris Redd is on SNL.
Yeah.
The homies on there. They're back. They had Megan Thee Stallion on there last week with Chris Rock, which is just amazing, man. Are you a Stallion fan?
Yeah.
That's a yes. Yeah. That's a yes. That's a yes.
That's the Wapanese.
Do you see her performance on there? You watch her?
You know I did. Her birthday is the day after mine.
Oh shit.
Oh, that's what's up.
Well, I know you're super into astrology, so that shit is like, I know you're
real hot girl, make you pop, pop, pop.
So you thought the performance was right on, yeah?
Yeah, I love her. I love to see her so smart and successful and talented. She's only 24 years old.
I know.
She's such a baby
I didn't know that.
in this game, and I feel like she's lost so much, and I'm just happy to see her win at this and do something that she's clearly good at. And I found it, I love to see her incorporate what's happening today into her act, because I mean, it took some effort. She had to really want to do that, because that's some ass shaking tunes, and we're going to keep it real.
Yeah.
And she found a way to turn shaking ass into a moment to highlight injustice that we face. I think she did a great job. And she's 24. She's
also a star.
And shout out to SNL for letting her do that shit, man. Like,
I know.
I mean, that's
she called out Daniel Cameron by name on that shit.
Yeah,
that was not just
an Aquarius.
That's dope. Like you know, I spend plenty of time for calling motherfuckers out for shit that they don't do or could have did. Like, give some acknowledgement for somebody doing some shit. That was a big thing to allow her to put that on their show.
Well, she's also
that's on their show forever. That's gonna be in all the motherfucking reruns.
Yeah, the 60-year anniversary show. They're gonna have that shit. It's gonna be in all.
Yeah.
Cameron, bitch.
When Daniel Cameron dies, somebody's gonna play the video of and Megan Thee Stallion, a pop star,
and she thick as fuck, just standing there like.
Well, that's the other thing too, right? Like she's not the type of star or famous singer that you traditionally get shoved in your face, right? Like she is She's tall, she's dark skinned, she's not like the size of a feather. She embraces it at the same time, which is like, those are elements that they used to try. There's plenty of women who look like that, who are talented, who have not gotten a shot before because of that.
Yeah, she's fine as frog hair, Bobby.
Yeah, she's also super hot. She's super, she's also super
fine as frog hair. You know how you ever see hair on the frog? It's real fine. Real fine.
It's very, very fine. Before the show started, Marilee, you were making fun of my Vin Diesel looks. Have you heard his new single? Have you heard the new Vin Diesel single?
I haven't heard. I was just saying that, y'all, like, if you had to categorize your level of, it's the Vin Dieselism. Well, like, you would be able to pass, but you don't want to. So it's like, you a real ass nigga.
Yeah, hey, right, Marilee.
Like he chose, like he was like, nah.
The fact that you tell people that you black is actually dope as fuck.
He like, actually, bitch. They be like, excuse me, Mr. White Man. He be like,
let me just straighten this out real quick.
Black bitch.
All you gotta do is spend a little bit of time, and you'll figure it out for yourself.
Okay.
You're gonna learn. The last thing I want to talk about is Eddie Van Halen, just because he's one of the biggest cats that had the situation to go down this week. Eddie Van Halen was 65. He made the idea of two-hand tapping on the guitar famous, if you're not familiar.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So he was wrongly credited as being the inventor of it, but it's, that's a hard thing to kind of say invented, considering that the cards. But he took that style of like playing the fretboard, where you were actually like going up and down the fret with your hands. He made that like a famous. That's what changed rock and roll in the 70s. That's why rock songs sound the way they do from the 70s on. That's like all the hard rock and all that shit. That's him doing that shit.
I like quote unquote all kind of music, and I do have a big like rock thing. I listen to Led Zeppelin and shit like that, and if you when I think of Van Halen, I think of my youth, and so like I started with them in the 80s with like Hot for Teacher,
right?
Shit like And by the way, Hot for Teacher is a bop.
It slaps, dog.
So
Hot for Teacher slaps, dog.
That shit slaps, baby. I love that song. But
we were in school when that shit came out too, so of course we were like, I am actually hot for a teacher.
James posted Eruption.
Yeah,
I think it has a guitar solo.
That's the solo that he's very famous for playing the fret of. That's the two-hand tap fret.
I knew Van Halen. I thought I knew Van Halen. I was like, Halen, David Lee Roth, Sammy Hagar, blah blah blah. I knew nothing about. I knew that Van Halen was a guitar guy, but I didn't know that and the Beat It story of how he the fact that he played the guitar solo on Beat It and that he changed the arrangement, and Michael was apparently super cool with it. Not just cool with it, but was like thank you for doing that. Wow. So
that's pretty solid. Well, he passed away at 65.
That's pretty cool for a pedophile. Cancer.
Yeah.
Run that back.
Allegedly. I'm not trying to get a Jackson Estate cease and desist on this episode.
Quick, Bobby. Damn.
I ain't trying to get no cease and desist on this episode when we got Marilee on here. Okay,
allegedly.
We gonna get two because I might get one too. Shit.
They can't stop us on our pages. We can do whatever the fuck we want. Marilee, I want to thank you so much for being on the show today. Where can people find you?
Having me. I had so much fun.
So people can find you. What are your Twitter, Instagram handles? How can people see you, get a hold of you?
It is the Marilee across the board. TheeMarilee. And look, if you follow me, just know I'm not going back and forth with you. Whatever I do is what the fuck I said. I'm not interested in your opinion, because if I was, I would click on your page and see what your opinion was.
That's right.
I said what the fuck I said on my page at all times. So if you're with that, come on and join me at the Marilee, TheeMarilee.
Yes, catch her out at any shows. If you find her, you got to go see her. If you're in Chicago or you're coming to Chicago, find out if Marilee is going to be on a show, and then go to that show, and then you can thank me separately after you thank her after the show. XL, where can people find you, man?
Boom! Put an @ and then add the XL comedy that you see right above my head right there.
The T is kicking in.
That? Put it just like that. Put an @ sign in front of that, and bang, that's where you can find me.
You can find me at Mocha_Jesus on Twitter and Instagram. You can find us at State Madison Entertainment. You can check us out there and see all the cool stuff we have coming for 2021. Make sure you get to New OG's Pod for this show and all the other shows we have. Find us on YouTube. Follow all of our shit on there. We got many episodes on there. They're great. And then make sure you follow at People of Comedy and at People of Comedy Network on Twitter and Instagram. Check out their podcast. Get to there on Facebook. They have live episodes. They have pre-recorded episodes. It's amazing. Everything across the board. Chicago comedy everywhere. That's it for us. We'll catch you next week. That's what's up.
Go Hayes. Go Hayes.
Whole lot of niggas changed since we came up. They can try to steal the moves.